think we still have some other people that we still have other people. We still have other people that will be joining us soon, right? Okay. Good afternoon once again, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to class. Of course, today is the first day. We'll be discussing primarily on 10 amazing business ideas for educators and business enthusiasts. And then, of course, this one will be more practical than the one we had on Sunday. Because this one, by now, I assume that all of us have gone through. What's it called? We've gone through the recordings for Sunday, and then of course we've done the assessment test that we were sent. Please, how many of us were here on Sunday? How many of us listened to me on Sunday? Please, can I have your comments? What about others? How many of us were here on Sunday? How many of us were here? Only one person. Okay. Now, how many of us listened to the recordings? Please, I need prompt responses, and I want us to be, as I told you the other time, it's going to be interactive. This is a practical session. The other one was theoretical. This is going to be practical. How many of us have listened to the recordings? Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
What about Aniyat? Can you hear me? Aniyat, can you hear me? Aniyat, can you? Kate, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Aniyat,
Yes,
can you also
I can
hear
hear
me? Aniyat, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Aniyat? In that case, now I was asking a question. I wanted to know so that we can know where to start from. How many of you listened to the the video of what we did on Sunday? How many of us watched the video? That you listened to my teachings on Sunday? Okay. Ania, listen. Of course. So what I want to do today is to engage us in a discussion where we get to know. Of course, I know we have the idea now. What I want to do today is I will take a recap of the ideas very briefly, because of course I've also sent the audio. Apart from the video, the Zoom video, the live recordings that we did on Sunday, we also have the what's it called? We also have the videos, the audio that I was sent to you guys. I sent the audio to you so that you can listen to it. So I will quickly take a recap of what we of the business ideas, and then of course I will start making it more practical by telling you specific things you can do, and then from the assessment, I also want you to tell me the ones that you are doing, or the ones you think you can do, and then we discuss on it. So I want it to be more practical. Chijoke, can you start sharing the slide now? Can you start sharing the slide? The first one, introduction. I said the education sector over the last 5 years have received tremendous attention globally. Of course, in my introduction, I told you that education sector now is receiving a lot of attention, more specifically in Africa now, where the demand for quality education is being made every day. There is high demand for quality education now, and then of course, as a result of to some extent, um, advent of COVID-19, of course, you have high demand for digital education, digital literacy, and other things like that. Of course, you also have high competitions in schools now. We have increasingly IBO areas in Nigeria now. Some local cities or local environment are turning to what's it called now? They are turning to IBO areas, and then of course, because you have a lot of career people, women and men now. People are ready to make a lot of investment, even if you are not career. If you don't even have money, you can see that the desire and the willingness to invest in children or in their works now is increasing. Parents want to invest massively in the education of their children now. Um, Parents are busy for a lot of reasons. You have high demands for educational services. You have um, increased awareness to invest in the sector. Increased awareness to invest in the sector. You have willingness of parents now. You have willingness of parents now to pay for critical services. And then, of course, you have several innovations in the educational sector. You will agree with me that you have a lot of innovations now. Before I came online yet, I watched this Teacher Ninja. I don't know if you guys know it. There is this Teacher Ninja now that engaged teachers, educators generally. And then what's it called? The four set of people that were evicted now. I heard they gave them postgraduate scholarship to UK. The automatic into Standard Institute of Chartered Institute of Educators in UK, and all that figures like that. So there's a lot of innovations in the education sector now. So there are a lot of massive opportunities and businesses in that sector. So that makes it more interesting, and that makes it that the business is in the next 10 years is going to go high. A lot of people, some of you guys that are entering to that business, and some of us that are entering to the business now, we will get to have a lot of advantage come 10, 15 years, because by that time there'll be massive investment, and those people that have invested earlier now will be having a lot of cash out. Or no, this is how petroleum started. This is how some critical industries started. People did not take notice, but some of those that are studying the trends now, we understand that in the next 10, 15 years, you have a paradigm shift in all of these things. So the question that all of us should ask ourselves, why should we go into the education business? Please, can you mute the person? The person is making.
Okay, that
So,
means
please, can you mute the person? The person is making noise.
Okay, oh my.
Can you mute the person? The person is making noise. Okay, let's go back to the slide, please. Let's go back to the slide. Now, so as I was saying the other time, of course, all this critical, the reason you need to go into that business now is that the business is just starting. You do not have a lot of people in education business. You do not have a lot of people. In fact, if you were to put it on percentage, although there is no data that is backing it up, but on percentage, you get to have like less than 1% in the education business. And then if you check the slide that I put here now, you will observe that in the sectors that are contributing to the GDP of the economy, you cannot find education there at all. That means that there is virtually no participation at all in that sector. So people that will go into that business now, they will make higher returns in 10, 15 years to come, because by the time people get to, the eyes of people get to open to all of these things, some of you would have started making it big from there. And then number two is that one of the reasons you need to go into this as educators, as edu business enthusiasts, as education experts. These are some of the things you can leverage on. One of the things that they say is that teaching is not lucrative. Why? Because of the salary that you receive, and then of course some of these things that during the COVID-19, you see how, especially private school teachers, how a lot of people suffered, and so you need an additional source of income, and then of course from here you can get your additional source of income if you're into this business, and then of course more importantly you can profitalize your knowledge and skill. You are in the system already, you know the education system, you are an educator, you have been trained. So your knowledge can be turned into profit-making what called venture, despite due to the fact that you are experienced, and then of course you have some certain level of knowledge and expertise as far as education business is concerned. So is a green area for you because you are familiar with it, you understand the terrain and other things like that. So there are so many reasons for why you have to go there, but for now let me just limit it to those two. I tell you big that the education business in the next 10, 15 years will be one of the topmost business, education and agriculture. I still maintain what's it called? I still maintain this stand because very sooner or later, all of us will realize that the oil industry will soon fade out, because by the time we enter a lot of debt in the nation and a lot of things, and things are not moving again, we all be forced to go back to agriculture and then on education. I foresee this, and I think all this will come to pass very soon. So this is an opportunity for you guys to, as much as possible, to take advantage of this. Having said that, in 10 minutes, let me quickly do a recap of these education business ideas that I think are the best. And of course, that when you go into, you can really maximize. I will take what's it called? I will try to take everything very fast. And then of course, I'll be mentioning specifics now. The other time I was generalizing it. Now I'll be making it specific. We have 10 of them. Tutorial centers and admission entry services, preschool franchise, school logistics and supplies, consultancy and training, education, social innovation, educational blogs, educational magazine and publishing, edutech, content creator, and an affiliate marketing. Let me move to tutorial centers and admission entry. For tutorial centers and admission entry, I recall that I said that this is quite important now because we have a lot of deficiencies as far as we have a lot of deficiencies. I'm talking about tutorials now, tutorial center and admission entries, because there is a lot of deficiencies in terms of or limitation as to which knowledge, the knowledge that is disseminated in the class. And then of course you understand that you yourself know as an educator, that the level of knowledge that we disseminate is still what's it called? Is still not enough because of the time limits that we have. And then of course that brings about tutorial services where you get to make up for some of the deficiencies in the classroom or some of the things that are not covered for. And then you also understand that we have different level of learners. Some people are not going to be able to pick up. Some people will not be able to pick up during the class, so they will need extra classes to fix them up. And then more importantly, again, we are also aware that the rate of failure that we have in schools now is high. And then of course, a whole lot of parents wants to have extra classes for their children, whether personal or general, and then so that they can mitigate against these incessant failures that we have all around. So to be more specific now, if you are going to tutorial businesses and admission entry, you can decide to have a jam class. You can decide to have a white NECO class. You can decide to have a Cambridge class. You can decide to have JUPEB, IJMB. You can decide to have adult classes. You can decide to have professional classes. Let me break them down. For those of you that may want to go into jam classes, of course, you in all tutorials, in tutorial business generally, you look at your location. Your location is very important, and then the number of students per houses in your location. For instance, I'll give my own case as an instance. As myself, I am into tutorial services, and in where I live, at least we still have up to about 40% student dominating the environment. You have a whole number of students, and then more importantly, you have a whole number of schools, especially public schools and then private schools. I was fortunate to be a call license officer, so we have about I know the data then. As at then, we have about 178 schools in that environment. Of course, that one gives me a leverage that you are going to have a large number of students, and no matter how the thing is, you're going to have a lot of students coming up. And then, of course, based on the fact that the competition is also a bit low, when I started, then we had about just 1 or 2 tutorial centers in the whole of that local government around that place. So it was quite easy to enter and start, and then the strategy was very simple. The other tutorial centers were offering morning services. I decided to render evening services. So the strategy was very clear and simple. So if you are going to tutorial services, you can decide to have a jam class, and based on some of the factors I've said, you can decide to have WAEC and NECO just to prepare students for WAEC and NECO. And then you can decide to have for WAEC and NECO. Sometimes some of you will say most of these private schools. What about public school students? When I started, my target then was that my target audience, or my target customers there was majorly public school students. They were public school students because I wanted a situation where we had more public school students who do not have luxury of opportunities that private school students enjoy. So you two can start with public school students, and that then you can also have regular coaching where you have less coaching, where you have schools that are not offering after school coaching programs. You can decide to start your own. So regular coaching from GSS1, probably from GSS1 to SS2 or SS3 as the case may be. So you can have that. As students who did not have admission, this is much more pronounced in Igbo areas like Lagos, like Kaduna, like Jos, like Abuja, like Ibadan, and like Abeokuta, where you have of course a lot of parents can afford the price for IGMB and DUPEB. If you are going to that business, I was still asking you now, if you are going to that business, you can IGMB and you can get in touch with me. I can link you up with companies that can register your business for IGMB and DUPEB, and then of course you pay about 78,000 naira to start. What's it called, DUPEB? You can have adult classes. It will surprise you. It will surprise you that there are adult classes in places and people are making it big. Some persons are not fortunate to go to school, but now they are well to do, and they also want to pass through school system. They want to learn something, and then they are not finding join young people in class. So you can leverage on that, where you have a lot of adults that are what's it called? That are professionals now, or yes, and of course they have deficiencies in education. You can study your environment very well. If you have those kind of persons, you can decide to start adult classes. You teach them basic things like English, mathematics and calculations and other basic things like that. I know of a guy that is doing it in Ibadan, and is making it big from there. So you can decide to have adult classes. You can also decide to have professional classes. I will talk on professional classes when I talk about affiliate marketing later on. So generally, that's to be more specific. These are classes you can have. Now, let me before we move, I move out from tutorial classes. I know some of you we may want to have questions. Can I ask you? Can I ask you these questions? How many of you? Let me ask this question. How many of you wants to go into tutorial service, tutorial center, or tutorial business? Can I see your hand up? Or let me ask this one before we proceed further. Yeah, in out of these 10 that we have listed before, which of the ones have you started? Which of the ones have you started? Which of the ones have you, of course, have you started as a business? Or which of the one are you thinking you are going to start? Can I have answers? Chijoke, please let me open the mic. Let them talk. Let me have responses from them, please. Meeting the class. I have the audios. You have the audios. You can listen to the audios every time now and then. So you can also watch the video that I made. You can have the and the test. All of those ones are there. So let's be more practical now. Chijoke, please can you open the mic now? Okay. Can I have everyone? Can I have everyone talk? If you want to talk, please can you let's have you. If you want to talk, can I have you?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The name is Gold. I I have not started, but I was thinking of an after school service for
Okay. You are thinking of after school service, Abby? Like the tutorial centers that we are talking about?
No, not a tutorial center, but like an after school care service for children.
Okay, after school care service for children.
Yes.
Okay, that's under preschool franchise, right?
Yes, preschool.
That's under preschool. I will still get to that point.
Okay.
Like preschool franchise. Okay. In that case, I will talk about that one later. Then who else is going to tutorial?
Okay.
Do we have anybody going to
Hello.
tutorial?
Yes. Hello. Good afternoon. It's me. My name is Kate.
Okay.
Quali Kate. I'm interested in the adult classes, tutorial, and that of WAEC and NECO classes. It has been on my mind, but I don't know how to handle it.
How to go about it. Now let me ask you.
Okay.
Where do you stay? Are you in Lagos?
Anambra. No, Anambra.
Okay, yes. Which side in Anambra?
Okuzu, to be precise.
Okay. Now in your area, have you done a survey? How many schools are there? In your just a general view, whether private or public?
Okay. Private and public school, they are just about 7.
Together in the environment that you stay?
Yes, or more. I don't know.
And then of course, what's the ratio of the student? If you look at it very well, the ratio of the students in your environment, in terms of demographics now, the percentage of students or young people in your environment that you say, compared to, we are talking about students now to adults to career people, working people, business people. What percentage do you think you have under that?
Okay, as it stands, most of the people here, the youths are not usually, most of them are not in school. After secondary school, they usually drop out. So I don't know. I can't just say much about them.
How many private schools do you have?
Okay, the private schools around are comprised of secondary schools that I know are just 3.
Okay, and do they offer after school services?
No, I haven't started. I haven't tried it before.
No, I'm asking those schools. Do they offer after school service, like they have lessons to prepare students for JAMB and the likes?
Yes, the private schools do.
Okay, they do.
Yes.
Then in terms of the public school, of course, you know that for public schools now, you get to you have a low number of people that might want to do JAMB and other things like that. I hope you know
Yes.
that.
They're actually low, yeah.
It's also actually low. That means that
Yeah.
if starting a tutorial center there might be quite tasking. But what about adult classes?
None.
None. There's no adult classes there. And then of course,
Yes.
do you have adults
I
that are willing to take some of these classes, that have shown interest in just wanting to learn to speak English, to do what
yes.
it?
Yes, like 7 years, those 7 years back, I once had an adult class, but the issue is that they don't show up. They always have excuse to give. They
Were
don't,
you
sometimes they
doing it for
won't
free?
pay. No, they won't even pay. When it's
Wow.
time for them to pay, they will stop coming. So I
Wow.
decided to stop it.
Okay, that means that for my honest opinion, you cannot have a
Yeah.
tutorial center there.
Okay. Okay.
It won't work.
Okay.
That's my honest opinion. And the only thing that could probably work, the only thing that could probably work there, and it's not of what is called certainty, it's not guaranteed. Is maybe these A-level classes, advanced classes, where students that do not make it in JAMB can do one and then enter into what's it called. But when we talk about the other, if you talk about the other what's it called, other business, maybe you can pick one to start with. But for my honest opinion, I don't think we are going to have around that place for you.
I understand. Yes. Okay. I understand you, and I see. I understand you. Actually, I understand you. Your point is quite clear. Should I now unmute?
Okay. That means that we do not have Abby. Okay. Can I move on to the second one? Can I move on to the second one? Can I move on to the second one?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Now the second one here is preschool franchise. Now for preschool franchise, what you want to deal with are young people, small children. It could be after school, it could be during school hour. Now the word preschool is saying that you have small children that are not of school age, or probably of school age but are not in school yet, that you want to cater for, both educationally and another way around. In our case, in our Yoruba language, they call it jealousy. I don't know. I don't think we have many Yorubas in this meeting here, but we call it jealousy because the word jealousy means that don't disturb the house. Go and find yourself somewhere, and then so that you can be engaged. But anyways, preschool franchise generally is becoming more lucrative now. Why? Because you have a lot of especially women now. You have a lot of career women more now than the olden days. For research purposes, we found out that for the past 5-10 years now, you have a lot of women are it's also they will also have cater for these children, although they want to or they will, but and then of course some of them they even send their children to preschool in a particular school, but at the end of the day, they will have to engage their children, that small child, in a particular place. They want to engage so that when they come around 6-7, they can go and pick him or her up. So that is where you come in. So the service you want to render is that for some you want to render you can render morning service where parents bring in their children, very young children, into your place while they go to their work. You take care of them. Now you are doing your own work, and that's why we call it franchise. I'm using the word franchise because you can decide to hire someone there while you do your work. So that means that you are doing your work and you have the business running at the same time. So any of them. So for preschool, you need to have a very neat and conducive place. You have some chairs, some instructional materials, some children play materials. If possible, you can get a small TV, a DVD, and then a small fan and other things like that. You set the whole place up and make it neat, make it look attractive. And then, of course, what you want to do is you want to get to parents. You want to reach out to them that you now have this, of course, you now have this one set up there. Now you can now begin to offer during school service or after school services, as she was saying the other time. Your after school service will be, you tell parents that their young ones, instead of taking them home and then they just leave them there in a place, they can get engaged with you, they relax, they eat, and they learn at the same time. So it's a win-win situation. Parents can buy time with you, leave their children there, and then they are sure that they are taken care of, and then they are learning at the same time while the parent is at work also working. So by evening, everybody meets themselves and then they go home like that. So you could have it after school or during school, and then we call it a preschool, a franchise, because during the school you may be in your place of work. You can decide to say, okay, you get someone there that understand early child education, and that is where hiring someone, you want to hire someone that understand the dynamics and then the what's it called, everything about children, how they learn, how they play, and how you want to also provide some basic things there. So when parents see, they can see that their children are safe with you, and then of course they are also growing in learning. So for preschool franchise, generally my candid professional advice is always that if you are starting this kind of, you have to start in a place where more of IBO areas, where you have a lot of middle income earners and high income earners. I have observed with keen interest that low income earners do not bring their words to preschool services or even after school services. That's one of the things I've observed. They prefer what's it called? They prefer putting them on their back and taking them to work. On the latter note, that's one of the things I have. That's one of the things I have observed over time, and it's as a result of the money and the like. But a career person, a career woman that is earning, that is a manager in a place or that is earning high, will not care. Of course, in fact, that child might be. I'm not saying it's a distraction, but will not fit in well with the work. So she will prefer that she drop it with you or with your preschool center, and then so I can why she fully concentrate on her own work there. So I always advise that you have it in IBO area where you have either middle income earners or high income earners that have high purchasing power. And then of course, there are areas where you do not have a preschool services before. And then you also have to study your area very well. If you have schools that have, in a particular area, you have schools that have preschool services for their students. That means that instead of you doing the day, instead of you doing the morning preschool, you have to do the afternoon preschool, because the competition will be high if you are doing morning, because most parents will not prefer to take that person to school, and then they come. Although in some when you are starting, maybe it may be hard, but on the long run, if you package your center well, you can even win the competition against schools. But it is much more preferable where you have schools that offer preschool services for you to start with after school. Then when you are offering top-notch and excellent services, you can now begin to have also day morning sections as well. So people get to know you, that you are giving services that are good. In fact, people may have to even withdraw some of their words, and then of course they tell themselves, people know what is good. They tell themselves when they enroll for the morning session as well. So this is what predominantly preschool franchise is all about. Now let me ask, do we have anybody that wants preschool or after? Kate was saying something on that. Kate, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you want to start with preschool, right?
Actually, here when
was it you that was mentioning it, or
no, it
another
wasn't
person?
me. I think it's
Okay, it wasn't
Gold
you.
that did.
That should
Yes,
be
Gold.
Gold, right?
Yes.
Gold, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here, sir.
Okay. You want to go into this after school service? What are your target audience? The small children, Abby?
Yes.
Okay. Have you studied your environment very well? Where do you stay?
I stay in an estate.
Okay. That's good. That's a estate. You stay in Lagos, right?
No, I stay in Abuja.
Oh, excellent. Abuja is a very good place to start something like that. Of course, most of them will not have time, and then in terms of in your environment, you have what's it called? High professionals there, career people mostly there, right?
Yes.
And then of course they are of course they will be high income earners in that kind of environment. I think that's so. So have you checked a location where you want to use and other things like that?
I want to start at my house. I have
Okay.
a spare room, so I was
Okay.
thinking it for now,
Okay.
and maybe get some educational materials.
Materials.
Yes,
Yes.
there and start up because
Okay.
myself, I'm not
Hello?
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. And then of course, do you have good relationship
Hello?
with people around that place in your estate?
And yes, I used to be a teacher, one of the school in the estate, but not even just one. I've taught in some schools. So right now, I don't want to teach anymore. So I'm looking for an alternative. So I
Okay.
have
Okay.
relationship with most of the parents that
Okay. Okay. I think that's a good one. That's a good one. That means that between now and September ending, you should start. So that's what this workshop is all about. We will guide you to starting. But of course, as you have said, your environment fits in to preschool franchise fully. Do you want to? You are planning to do after school services, right?
yes, after school services.
That's fantastic. So the only thing you now need to do is get instructional materials. You have a small TV in your place, right?
Oh yes, I do.
A DVD, and then you
Yes.
call
If you collect this thing, go and buy gas that
CDs
place
for
now.
children
Money
and
is in
other
that.
things like that they can learn from. So I think preschool will fit you very, very well. It will fit very well. So
Thank
in
you.
the course of this workshop, you also learn how to carve out your niche,
Find my
how to
daughter. Find my daughter. Let me write all this. How you should
how to brand
People
your
have gone far.
business, how to a lot of things. So I think you have discovered your own business idea. The only thing now is turning your idea into business fully, and that's what we are going to work on. I'm pleased to hear that. Okay, so we have talked about tutorial centers and then preschool. I have asked that, and everybody said they are not going to tutorial center, right? So let me go to the third one, which is the school logistics and supplies. School logistics and supply. For school logistics, and I want Kate to listen to this as well. You may find what's it called, some of these ideas here. In school logistics and supply, our
Okay.
major focus here is that you want to be supplying educational materials to school. You want to be supplying educational materials to school. The materials can be in different form. You can supply laboratory apparatus. You can supply educational toys and materials. You can supply instructional materials. You can supply teachers' aids. You can supply school wares. You can supply office equipment. You can supply textbooks. You can supply sports materials. etc. Now, in fact, I know of a woman. I think I met her 2 years ago. What she does generally is to supply textbooks. So she went to companies to get textbooks of authors that are just coming up, and then their books are very authors that are just coming up, and their books are and their books are very, very good. So what she's done generally is that she supplies the textbook, and she comes to a particular school and say, we have this textbook, I have this textbook, I have this textbook, I have this textbook. Because she met me, she did chemistry for me. So she came in and said, okay, I have physics, I have chemistry, I have mathematics, I have all these subjects from a particular publisher, and the textbooks are good. I will give you one copy, your teachers one copy each as free. And then, of course, I will sell it for this social amount. Your school will get this social amount, and I'll get this social amount. And from there, she was able to build relationship with about more than 30 schools in that environment. So she predominantly supplied them their textbooks. And I know of if you are of science background, for instance, maybe you are a chemistry teacher or a physics teacher or a biology teacher or anyone that you can also be, because of the, although in supplying laboratory apparatus and materials, you need to learn, because most of the people that does it, they learn it from a particular person that is doing it. Although yours might just be 6 months, might be 6 months. You can tell the person that has you want to train long, want to just training under them. They get to teach you how to buy it, where to buy it, other things like that. And then, of course, how the market is, you get to learn there. So you can supply laboratory apparatus,
What is it?
you can supply educational materials, instructional materials, toys, and like so. The major secret to logistics and supply is that you know the specific materials that are of high demand in your area, and then you have good relationship with schools. You know, most of these instructional materials now, but you can business people that are going to business. Never you underestimate your power. You can always beat the competition. You can always have the edge. Please note this one down as part of your take home. You can always beat the competition and have the edge, no matter how tough the market is, no matter how high the person. For a very long time, you can have people that have been supplying a school for more than 20 years. You can always beat it. It depends on how well you package your own, and then the relationship you've had over time. So you can be supplying. I also recommend that if you, and this one can be, you can do this business whether in high-brow area or in low income areas. It doesn't matter. In fact, although it is much more lucrative in high-brow areas, because you have a lot of schools that are of standard, that the schools pay a huge amount of money as school fees. Your students are paying a huge amount of money, and the schools want the best for their students. They want a lot of instructional materials. They want office equipment. They want a lot of things put in place. Ivory area people have edge, but nonetheless, with good relationship, you can start up something in this what's it called? But you just have to understand the market, you know specifics. Some of you can start with instructional materials. Okay, Aniyat, I will go into that. I will go into that very soon. I get your point. You are saying that you are into you are into special needs centers.
1,000 now.
You are into special needs centers, and then you don't know. You want to know about it more. I will talk about that special need. It's still under tutorial center as well. I will talk about that one very soon. I'm coming. So do we have anyone that is before?
Yes, so I want to talk. Hello? I want to talk. I want to say something.
Okay, please say. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm Wukoma good side.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay. I can hear you.
Wukoma
I
good
can hear you.
side.
I can hear you.
Okay, you're talking about selling of school and supplying things to school. When you're talking about going to meet people to learn about this laboratory apparatus, how is that one done? How can you do that? You go
Okay.
to markets, you're looking for those people that sells all these things and talk with them.
Okay.
You know that every school has the people that have been supplying this, for them at all time.
I've mentioned that before. Okay. Continue, please. Ask your question.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you people have some companies that you can give us contacts to them that sell these things in large quantity. You understand? So that we can
Okay.
still make to talk with them or something like that. Or
Okay.
even online that we can still go to request for all
Okay.
this kind of goods. Do you understand?
Okay. Okay.
Because
Okay.
why I'm saying this is that when you meet people to start telling them to teach you, or you want to do 6 months IT or something like that, maybe that person might not be much free with you. You understand? Because
Okay.
he knows that if everybody that have good heart that will give you chance for you to come and learn, maybe the person will not give you full time for you
You're
to learn
right.
everything.
Let Are you done? I think your line is breaking. Okay. I think I've gotten your point. I've gotten your point. Don't worry. I've gotten your point. I will let me respond. Let me respond. Let me respond. Now, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Now, what I'm trying to say is that the
This thing
competition
in a
is that
large
a lot of
quantity.
schools. Okay, you are saying that you need
Okay,
people that
respond.
can send it to you on a large scale, Abi. Let me say this that
Yes.
okay. Let me say this that one, it's
Why am I having network problem?
and then every buying and selling business usually have a pre-knowledge. As much as possible, you can learn online, but first-hand learning is also important. Now, your approach to things. Let me say this: your approach to meeting people might be different. Now, I know of a person. If you need contacts of people that are selling laboratory stuff, but what I'm trying to say is that for the school logistics and supply, sometimes it requires that you just don't go in that. You need to understand how the market works. You need to understand what's it called? How people get it in large quantity and other things like that. Now, again, you also mentioned that schools have their suppliers before. I've said that you can beat the competition. In this workshop, you are still going to learn how to create and sell your products how to brand your products and the likes that will give you market competitive edge. So I'm not the one that will take that one. But however, your personal relationship here matters. If I want to go, although I'm not into school logistics and supply, but if I want to go into that business today, I will beat off any competition in the environment I am for simple reasons. One, I have relationships in one way or the other. I have done programs in virtually all schools around this place. One program or the other, from community school tour to SDG4 advocacy to competition to creating SDG clubs and that. So I have a sound relationship. And then luckily for me as well, I have been able to teach as a part-time teacher in virtually all these schools. So I have massive relationship with the school head. So if I say I am into this, and then I want to be supplying them this, I will gladly have a welcome, what's it called, despite the fact that they have people that are supplying them before. Now, so for you to beat off that competition, you must start building the relationship. I know you have your school that you teach, but from there, the strategy I will teach you is that start having relationship with teachers of other schools around your environment. Then you can start with organizing some mini programs, like 1 hour program in those schools. Get to also meet with their school leaders and like be making relationship with them. Then in the space of 3-6 months, that once you are able to build good relationship with them, you can now introduce to them that this is what you do. Now, so the strategies on ground now is that you give yourself a 6-month goal. In that 6 months, at least you'll be able to touch about 5 to 6 schools. Organize a very mini program. We can talk about how to study well, how to read well, how to pass exam. Just tell them you want to organize what's it called, meet with the school leaders, get their contacts, be relating with them and the likes. So within that 6 months as well, you get to learn that business. That there is a part for online. You get to learn that business online. How to, what's it called? You can get some materials online and the likes. You can Google where they sell educational toys, where they sell instructional materials. I know of a place in Ibadan where you can get it in large quantity in Ibadan. You can get to also ask around. You can get then stylishly. Those are into that business before. You can also get to ask them, where do they buy some of these things and the likes. Then you are on your own. You can visit that place, get to talk to the distributor or the company in charge, and tell them your plans and the likes. So you start making those preparations. You are creating your market, and at the same time, you are doing the market survey and doing all necessary information. Where and then once you learn all of those things, where you now have the opportunity to meet with people that it's not everybody that is bad. Personally for me, I do believe that we still have some people that if you say you want to learn some of these things, they will gladly teach you. Although 80% we might not want to teach you because they will say you want to take business from them. And that's a very poor mentality we have in Africa. And it's we are afraid of competition. Instead of collaboration, there is more of negative competition, and it's affecting the growth of businesses in Africa. I will talk more on that later on. We have a lot of problem with, and that's one of the things the whites don't have.
God.
They collaborate more. So
Yes.
as I was saying, if you want to go into supply of textbooks, you can meet with publishers. You can meet with publishers and get to talk to them about textbooks that you want to offer, and then of course how you want it to be, your market area, and then other things, other information, and then how much they are going to give you. You negotiate. Negotiation skill is very important here, because you have to negotiate at a price that will benefit both you and then the people that you want to supply to. But because of the competition, if your prices are too high, it might ward off potential customers. And then for instructional materials, you also have companies or distributors for it. You can get it if that, and then your financial capacity, and how you want the business deal to be, and how much you are going to be sending, and other things like that. Why you create, you are doing that means you are doing about 2 to 3 things at the same time in the space of 6 months. One, you are creating market for yourself by creating relationship I told you one strategy. You can devise other strategies yourself by getting to penetrate into those schools with programs or any other things like that. Then getting to meet with their school leaders or teachers and relating with them, or a person that is of high note in that school, and then you share with them your business. What's it called? You get to relate with them very, very early and other things like that. So that I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you are going to this business, right?
Yes.
You are going to the business fully. Have you started?
No, I've not. Yes, there is one book. By the grace of God, I happen to be on out of a book. There's a book that I wrote in my own field. Hello,
I can hear you.
hello.
I can hear you.
Yes, there is a book that I authored like that. So I have this strategy of as selling books in schools, and I've come across all these things that you are saying. Do you understand?
Okay.
Hello. I've come
I can hear
across
you.
when
I
you
can
go
hear
to
you. Go
supply
on.
or make when you go to make supply to this school, they will be telling you we already have people that is sending us this thing. But this thing, there's something you said here now that is very important. Relationship. There was
Yes.
a school certain times that I went to deliver one of my books to, one of my workbooks to. So when I reached there,
Okay.
they were telling me that there was a workbook already there is a workbook they are using. So
Yes.
I now spoke with the subject teacher, telling the subject teacher you'll be having 50 naira in this book. Automatically, the guy accepts the book. Was not telling
Yes.
the principal, let them forget the other one, that this is my own now is the one they will use. That you have seen that there are very good things inside the book.
Yes.
They should embark with it. That is it.
That was what I was saying about relationship. Once you are able to penetrate into the person, a high profile person there, and the person the person is able to buy into your idea. That's all. You get to supply. In fact, they will leave everything. I have the testimony. I know of a man here that supplies laboratory apparatus to a particular school. Before the school have the person has been supplying them for more than 20 years. But the guy was able to penetrate into a teacher that is head of science. So the teacher was saying that, oh, this person is, I think is he delivers on time. Is supplying to this social school. The person was able to convince the principal that the new person is the right person for them, and then they needed to drop that
Yes.
person and they adopt. So relationship is key, very important.
Yes.
So that's one of the things you need to have. So you can develop strategies to penetrate into those schools, organize programs, meet with their subject teachers. And apart from that, apart from your own books, you can decide to also sell us some other books as well.
Okay.
So you can decide to sell some other, yes, you can decide to sell some other books. Once they see that it is of quality, and then the person that is recommending that test to them is a person that if you say something in that school, the thing is of high note, so they won't budge. And then you once you now penetrate into that school, you are penetrated forever. So your duty is now to maintain that relationship and make sure that you keep it very safe.
Okay. Okay.
So have
Thank you,
I
sir.
answered your question now?
Yes. 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 Yes.
So
Yes.
I will need to see your plans and other things. One of the assignments I will give to the class now is everybody is going to see how they are going to start. But later on, I will talk more about the assignment later. Now, let's go to quickly. Our time is fast spent. We need to let's go to consulting and training. Consulting and training. Do we have anybody that wants to go into this, or anybody that's into this before? Aniyat, I'm still going to answer your question, please. Do you have anyone that wants to go into this business? Consulting and training. I hope you have. I know all of you have read through. You've listened to my audios. Huh? Do we have any? Okay, let me quickly just talk about it. For consulting and training generally, I won't talk. Consulting and training requires deep knowledge. I use the word deep. Consulting and training requires deep knowledge. It requires high level of skill, experience, and expertise. High level of skill, experience, and expertise. Because you are dishing out knowledge. you are dishing out value, like what I'm doing now. You are dishing out knowledge, you are dishing out value, you are dishing out resources, human capital and intellectual resources to people. So it requires that you get trained for it. And that is why when I want to recommend this, if anybody is going to this, I do ask them, what are their skill sets? Your skills, if you are not a good communicator, although it can be learned, if you are not a good communicator, if you don't have passion for teaching, for coaching people, for mentoring people, for making people excel in what they do, it is this business is not for you. So although there are other areas you can venture into under this consulting and training. Number one, you can be a management consultant, management and leadership consultant. I know of Edupreneurs. Edupreneurs generally is a management consultant organization. What they do is that they train school leaders and school owners on effective school management and then and leadership. Everything on leadership that will make them have a very high return. So it requires that you have a background study or a background knowledge in management, executive leadership, and then of course school management generally, educational administration, and then of course you have some experiences with people. You have worked with people. You are analyzed. Sometimes you may even need to take coaching classes. But it's not even sometimes. You will need to take courses on management, read books on management, work with management consultants, and then of course garner experiences starting from your own environment, teaching people on management and leadership. Then you under consulting again, you have what's it called? HR, human resources. I know of Jeja. I have contact for Jeja. I have contact for anybody that is going to management consulting too. Jeja, one of the major things she does, Jeja Consult, is that she recruits for schools. She has a background in human resources. That means you are going to take a course. You are going to take courses under human resources too. Now you are combining your educational background with human resources background. You understand? So you have to take courses on human resources. So what she does is she even sent me a what's it called currently? She even sent me a link currently that I helped someone to get a job. So I linked up. So what she does is that she relates with schools. She relates with schools generally. So she what she does is that she goes to schools and then get to train what's it called, for a very minimum amount. Let's say probably like 2,000 naira. But get to go to school. She just write letters to, because I heard of her story. She write letters to schools and say, okay, can I come and train your school leaders, department heads, head of departments, the school administrators, and every other thing about how they can effectively run the school. So she trained them on that. After training them on that, so she will now say that she is into management consulting, and also she can also help the school to recruit the best hands into their leadership position. Of course, majorly she works with high-brow schools like Oxford International Schools in Abuja. Works with a lot of schools that are they have high structure. They are highly structured. They have high performing team. The organogram is well stated, and of course, they are high incomes. Once you little low, introduce other services like teacher trainings, woman recruitment for teachers and other things like that, for another professional services. So that's how she's able to penetrate our market. Currently now, she told me she has about 40 clients. That means 40 schools. That any of these schools, if they want to do teacher recruitment, she's the one in charge. If they want to do training, she's the one they call. If they want to have a lecture for their parents on parenting under the what's it called, she's the one they call. So she's able to penetrate that market, but it requires a high level of penetration and high level of expertise. If you're able to go into that thing and you're able to deliver once, they love what you do. They are able to recommend you. Then from that place, you move immediately. but it requires a high level of professionalism. In this area as well, what's it called? You can have under consulting. You can also have study abroad. I know of a lady that is doing that. Bisola Miriam Obinyon. Bisola Miriam, that's what she predominantly does. She told me of recent that she makes about $500 per day. $500 per day, and then she makes more than $5,000 per month. You can know she stays in UK. Our story is that she had problem entering schools in UK, and then later on she needed to study that market very well. As now she's helping students and parents that want their children to study abroad in any school in Canada, US, UK, China, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and Myanmar and other places like that. She helped them gain admission. She gives them tips for scholarship if you want to apply for scholarship and other things like that. So she's making it some list. You can leverage on the networks that you have in schools across the world and then start contacting some of those people. How does things work here? You get to gather information from there. And then if you need the contact of Bisola Obinyon, I will request from her, and then I will give you. She can also put you to, you can undergo training. She has a training for people that want to go into this own in for that study. One of the green area in education now, that is, I only know of a organization that is doing it, and they're doing it part-time. The education place or the education center by Dr. Mrs. Modupe Olateju, if I can remember. Dr. Mrs. Modupe Olateju, Dr. Mrs. Mo, the education place, TEP Center. She's the only one that is actually into education policy. So when government agencies need policy makers in education and the likes, they get to reach out to her. She's vast. She works with Ogun State government. She works with Lagos State government. She works with Oyo State government and other, what's it called? She's a strong voice as far as education research is all about. So if you have that kind of knowledge, you can go into that as well. Then you can go into professional services like proofreading. It does not mean that professional services you need to have a place. You can do online stuff. You can market yourself where I say I'm into proofreading services. I'm into educational policy services. I'm into educational research services. Students, schools, and educational organizations that want to do research, you can help them out. So these are things that you can come up with as what's it called in consultancy. Somebody was saying he wants to go into consulting, right? Okay. So somebody was saying that, is it not Shijoke?
Yes, I'm the one.
Which area do you want to go into under consulting and training? You can also be an educator trainer, like what I'm doing now. You can, if you have the knowledge.
Yes.
You can, if you have the knowledge, you know how you can coach educators on classroom leadership, on how to effectively deliver their services and other things like that. You can go into training educators like this, organizing workshops, seminars, and like something like this. So which area do you want to go into, Chijoke?
Educator trainer, as well as management consulting.
Okay, educator trainers, yes. There are a lot of topics, and then of course you are there are one range of topics, and that was one of the things you need to do is to do research. You do research on critical topics that educators need to be effective in this 21st century, and then you come up with your course content. Are you getting me?
Yes,
are you getting me?
Yes,
can
sir,
you
yes,
get
sir.
me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can.
So you come up with your course content, and then you create contents and the likes. And then more than virtual ones that we are doing like this, you can also penetrate into school. But you can start with virtual, organizing classes, virtual classes for educators free, and then from there you can penetrate. We can penetrate into some of the educators and tell them to come and train their teachers for free. So if you tell them you want to train their teachers for free, probably for some little amount, from there you can scale it up, and then you begin to have a number of schools. You begin to create a number of schools that will need your services, and then for managers, go take courses speaking, take courses on some other courses on key educational topics, and then digital education, other things like that. So once you are able to take courses and you have done a wide range of research, you can now build your own model, your own, what's it called? You construct your own course that will be unique. Your course must not be that is what you learn from online. You are just taking everything and dropping it. Most of the things I teach on now, most of the things I teach on generally, they are based on years of research, what I've done on my own, some of the courses I've taken, and other things like that. So that your teaching can be unique, and you can get to, and then of course the strategy is very simple. The steps are very simple. Action plan is very simple. First, go for trainings, learn on coaching, learn on speaking, work with people that have been to that business, learn under them, let them mentor you for some time. Then during that time, be getting materials, be designing your own materials, be designing your courses, take research topics that have not been talked into. Because one of the ways you can make it big as educator trainers is to do topics that have not been talked into. Do you know that some of these topics we are doing here now, it has not been really delved into? You don't have people that have gone into it before, or do you have it? No. We don't have people that have gone into courses that we are coming up with in our own case here. There are courses that are very rare, that are very, 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 very rare. So there's something you can come up with, and then of course you have you can but you need to really, really learn first. You need to really, really learn. It's very important. Do we have another person? I think is the only one going to consulting and training, right?
Yes, so
Okay. That's good. Let me talk about. Do you have anybody going to education social innovation? Do you have anybody that wants to go into that? Everybody must have one thing or the other. That's one thing for sure. Do you have anyone going into that? Now let me quickly talk about maybe you don't understand very well. For education, you can Google this. You can Google this later on. You can Google slum to school. You can Google education for peace organization. You can Google what's it called? Girl child advocacy. You can Google Edupreneurs. You can Google Rebook Africa. All these are education social innovation organizations. What you do is that all of them have backgrounds in education. They are generally educators, but they identify some social problems that are in education space. For instance, for slum to school, Madam, what he did is that he identified that a lot of children in slums like Mushin, Agege of Lagos, all of them they do not have access to going to school. So what he does is that he went to those slums to pick those students up into school. So with that, he was able to he started with a low fund, getting them to a low income school and ensuring that they get some stipend to run their school. So later on, as he began to have sponsors and grants, majorly for educational social innovation, you get to rely on donations, on sponsorship and grants for you to really work well. But you need to understand the social problem you want to address. Another one is Edupreneur. I know of Edupreneur. I've worked with Edupreneur before very well. What Edupreneur does is that fix the school. there is a school in Abakaliki, there is a school in Enugu, they will get the picture. So they are working with a lot of schools. They are working with over 5,000 schools as a president. So we send them pictures. They send them. In fact, some of those schools, a contract has been awarded to innovate their schools. You understand? But the government is not innovating that school. So you can see the foul play from government now. So you can see the foul play from government. Government is not innovating. They've paid contractors, but they are not innovating. So it will call the attention of government to that kind of thing. And then if anything has not been done on that school at all, it will say, Governor Abiodun of Ogun State, please fix Irekpodun Nursery and Primary School. He will take the picture, and then he will copy the Ministry of Education in Ogun State, copy the local education area and the likes. And then, of course, because of that, he has penetrated into almost all state ministries and federal ministries of education. So when he needs data, he gets it immediately because they know he's working with them. He's also advocating for better policies and education. He's also into policy, better policy and digital policy and the likes. So he gets sponsorship. He has about 5 people working sponsorship from what's it called, international donors, that they say, oh, you are doing well. You are trying to ensure that your government is responsible for fixing us. UNESCO gets funded from Bill Gates Foundation and other foundations like that. So you can for education social innovation, you want to identify a particular social problem in education, and then you are fixing it and you're advocating for a better one. For Rebook Africa, what David Oluwaseun, what he's doing generally with Rebook Africa is that he's saying that in areas where in local communities, they do not have access to book, and then the access book in the cities, so to say. So he will create all those books. The books, the chemistry textbook we are not using again, the storybooks we are not using again, and every other thing like that. Please give it to me. It goes to schools. The books that they are not using again, and other things like that. So he creates about, for now, I think he has created over 20,000 books. Then from there, he got sponsorship from, is it Ford Foundation now? They gave him another 100,000 books, and then they gave him a grant as well. So he will say that let's go to communities that are not having school, they are not having books. So he gets books from cities and everywhere. Then he also says that if you can donate 10,000 books, if you can donate, what's it called? Let us give those books to students in local communities that do not have access to books. So that's what he generally that one. So and he from Rebook Africa alone, David Oluwaseun now, Kayode Oluwaseun David. You can Google him on Facebook. He has been able to travel to Austria, Switzerland, and UK, if I'm not mistaken. He has delivered talks on that. He's a good friend of mine. He's also the founder of Schoolinka. And then, of course, recently he went to Benin Republic to deliver a lecture as well. So you are in education, social innovation, you are identifying a particular social problems in education, and you are solving it. I also know of Christopher Kolade Foundation. I have direct contact with them as well. What they do is that they focus on get students of secondary school that are girls. They train them on digital, what's it called, ICT and digital stuffs. They also train them on mental and menstrual health and other things like that. So you can identify social problems in education. You can say fix examination malpractices. So your advocacy will be on, you want to reduce examination malpractices. You begin to engage stakeholders, organize lectures, fix public debates, and other things like that. That one can be your own organization. You can start from there. So depending on some of the social problems you've identified and then you want to solve, then once you are consistent with what you do, you may not get support for the first time. Once you are consistent what you do, you get to understand that later on, you get to get small sponsorship, state government start coming in if you see that your what's it called, your works are consistent and they're online and you are doing it well. Do you have anybody that want to go into education social innovator? I want to watch. I'm way out of time now. Very, very out of time.
Interested. Kate is interested.
Okay, Katie, you are interested. Oh, interesting.
Yes.
You can one of the things I have a material on social innovation generally.
Okay.
I will remind me to send you that material.
Okay.
And then again, because you said you are interested, I run an organization to 3D Africa, and fortunately for you, we are starting an academy. It's a free academy. We are giving just 100 people slot from about 20 countries in Africa. So I will give you a slot because you are here.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a 6-week course. After that 6 weeks, you are going to do a project. After that project, you are going to do internship as well. We'll place you on internship. So you get to learn everything. So I will send you the materials. You get to learn a whole lot of things about education, social innovation, and then you two by now start looking at some of the social problems that you see around you that you can fix. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
So I will then, since I have a social innovation program, I have a 3D Africa. I will take you through how you can do it from step to step. So you are covered. You are covered. Just make sure that you have passion for it,
Right.
and then you are covered. Good.
Yes.
So I think case is on education and social innovation now. Do we have anybody going to social blog? I want to round up. I've exhausted my time here. Do you have anybody going to blogs? Educational blogs? Do we? No, right?
What's matter?
No, okay. Do you have anybody going to education magazine? Magazine, who is saying that? Do we have? Do we have anybody going to magazine? No. Okay, who is that? Please identify. I don't think we have. Okay. What about EdTech? What about EdTech? Where Gloria going to? Some places have not talked yet. Before we leave something you are going into, that's the essence of this workshop. So that you can start something up. We want to make sure you start something up. Talk by Gloria or Latunde or something. You have not talked since morning. Or you have not talked since morning.
Hello, so sorry, I'm a bit late for the meeting. I just joined in. I was able to grab just, I started with you from your point number 3. And at least so far, I think I would like to join. So far, based on your point, based on what you said, I think I would like to join something on research. Can you hear me?
Okay, you like doing something on research?
Yes.
Okay, that means you can go into consulting.
All right.
That means you can go into consulting. Now, what you are going to do is that for your research, which area of education research? Do you know that we do not have any major research, educational research body in Nigeria? I hope you know.
I'm just knowing
fully.
about that. Yes, fully.
In fact, I was for our own magazine for Emerald magazine.
Yes.
Okay, now for for educational for Emerald magazine that we want to do for educators now that we are planning on doing. I'm writing on something, although they're almost through with the magazine. But I told them I want to write on something and I want to make a research. I found out that a lot of teachers are not engaged. They are not properly engaged. They don't like teaching. They are just doing it for doing its sake. Are you getting my point? So I said I'm going to carry out a sample on 1,000 teachers. Are you getting my point?
Okay. Yes.
Are you getting my point?
Yes, I can get you.
Can you get me?
Yes,
I'm
with you.
Tope? Okay. So I said
yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay. I said I'm going to carry out a research. I'm using 1,000 students in 36 states. So what I will do is that I will create a form. Once I create a form like that, and then they will fill it. I will know. Then I will now get the work of a data analyst to help me analyze the data and every other thing like that. Then I will have in starting research. A research, what's it called? You need to have a website. You understand? Then you have to have your own company. You can register a business. You can register a business name with Corporate Affairs Commission. You can say Nigeria Edu Research Organization. So so that means you are starting as a private entity. Okay. So once you are starting as a private entity like that, you make research on you make a research on different topics that has to do with education in Nigeria. It can be on teachers engagement, it can be on teachers recruitment, and then you begin to give us statistics. So so you put it on your website. A lot of people get to visit your website. You get to have, then from that research, you also add like training to it. You get to also speak in conferences. So as you do research and make those publications, so you can make your research a magazine, education research magazine. Are you getting my point now? So once you have, it can be an online magazine that you'll be publishing it online, and then of course you get to drive traffic to that website. You get to link up with ministries of education, federal ministries, state ministries. They get data, raw data from your website. It's a big industry. Nobody has started that in Nigeria. Nobody as at present. So it's a big industry. They get to get raw data from you. That limits to what Bureau of Statistics in Nigeria can do. In fact, our Bureau of Statistics is wishy-washy compared to what we have in overseas in advanced country. So, and then most of them, they don't focus on a whole lot of things. So you can bridge the gap now, and you focus on education alone. So when people are talking about educational research, they want to have data from different topics. They come to your website straight, and then when they're having workshops, when they're having conferences, they call you for that conference to talk on those data.
Okay.
So then you can also create a magazine. You can call it educational research magazine, and then from that magazine you publish it online, and then you sell it. You can sell your magazine for some certain amount, so that people that want to have access to your magazine self, they have to pay. You can get money from there too.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can go and work on that idea very well and bring it to me. We will discuss it. We will discuss it so much. I want you to start something on that. You can become a big person from what this idea we've mentioned now.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think Tokwa is covered. Tokwa is covered. I think the only person that is not covered here is OR. Right? OR, can I hear you? OR.
Hello.
Okay. So which education business are you going to?
I've already said something. OR is gold in French.
Okay, good.
OR
okay. Which one are you going to? Tutorial B?
No. It's the same person that spoke earlier, gold. That said she wants to have after school services.
Okay, after school service. I think you are covered. The only person left now is Aniyat, right? I think Aniyat. Okay, Aniyat said into inclusive magazine too. Okay. You are talking about Aniyat is talking about Aniyat. Can you open your mic now? I'm almost rounding up. We have about 9 minutes left, please. Aniyat, can you open your mic now? Please, Chijoke, please help you open mic for Aniyat so that I can quickly interact with her. Aniyat, can you hear me now? Aniyat, can you hear me? Chijoke.
I've opened the mic for her.
Okay, I don't know why she's not. Now you're talking about special needs center. Okay, special needs is a very lucrative place. It's a very lucrative business. Why? Because you are talking about children with special needs. Ania, can I ask you, do you have a background in special needs studies?
Make sure that you're targeting whatever you have to do to
Okay,
doesn't affect your GP.
Aniat, can you hear me? Okay, you have a degree. And they have unmuted you. You can mute. You can press on mute. Press on mute on your button there. Press on mute. It will what's it called? It will be. So you have a degree of special education. Good. That's very good. Which area do you stay? Which area do you stay? Is it in Lagos, Abuja, Kaduna, and the likes? Abuja, very good. Abuja is a very good place to start. Where do you stay in Abuja precisely? Where do you stay in Abuja? Where do you stay in Abuja? Aniyat, where do you stay? Okay, Bristol City. Okay, Kubwa. Kubwa is also a good place. Do you have people with special needs in that environment? Okay, it's an estate. And then have you done the market? Have you done the market survey? And you have a lot of just 2 for now. Okay. Then that means that you might need to do some you might need to do some more research. I am very sure that you have more than 2 students. You have more than 2 students around that place. But so what you need to do now is that you need to we can do a house-to-house interaction. If that one will be too long, you can do what is it called? You can meet with schools. You can meet with schools. Okay, if they have special needs, if you have special students, you can meet with them, and then of course you can also. Another idea that is coming to my mind now is that you can also go into PTAs of schools. If you have about 10, 15, 20 schools in that environment, ensure you go. Of course, you can do advert on social media platform. That one you can run ads on social media platform. But more importantly, in your location now, there are 2 things I'm also suggesting. You can go to schools in that location, get to talk to school leaders when they're having PTA. Let them give you just 5 minutes. Let them give you 5 minutes to talk. From there, you tell them what you do. You do special education. Some schools might some schools might have parents that have children that they are not, but they don't want to talk about, that have special needs. So some parents might not say, okay, give us your number. Then some parents can also have someone that they know that their children are special students that you may need to take. So have it as a strategy that you are going to go into a whole lot of schools, and then during their PTA, you get to have 5 minutes to address the parents, tell them what to do. If you have special children that you can take and other things like that, from there you can get okay. Most schools are not cooperating. Okay. Okay. Then again, another thing you can do, I'll talk about most schools are not cooperating later. Another thing you can do again is that you can use social media platform. You are going to get a very good digital marketer, so that will run an ad that is specifically based in your environment alone on Kubwa. So everybody in Kubwa will see that ad and they can apply. You give contacts that are going, and then again you can also get organization that does that creates email. They create email that I can actually get the emails of almost everybody in Ikole. So you can do email marketing. So once you are able to gather, of course they buy it. I think is the last time I hear from someone, they said they get it from for is it not 3,000 naira now? You get the email for 3,000 naira, and then you do email marketing. You get to send them email that this is what you do. If they have students or children with special needs, that you can take care of them. This is your environment, all this and that. So you can do email marketing. You can run a Facebook ad and what's it called? Instagram ad. Also be a content creator. You can organize a monthly webinar or monthly Instagram live video or YouTube video on special needs education. So then for that, you start creating content. You create content on Instagram, create content on Facebook, create content on YouTube, and then you give that content a whole lot of you give that content a whole lot of publicity. You give that content a whole lot of publicity, and then of course, once you give that publicity, people get to start knowing who you are as a special education person, and then you can begin to get recommendations. People can get you from across the country. You can even be doing home services. You understand? So these are some of the ideas you can have, but you can also send me a private message to also give you some more on this. My time is extremely fast spent. Yes. I think I'll be able to serve everyone. Have I been able to serve everyone for today? Have I been able to serve? Yeah, somebody was saying about a magazine on special needs magazine. Yes, you can create magazine for special needs. That will be first of its kind in Nigeria. We do not have any magazine that talks generally on special needs. So once you are creating a magazine like that, your customer base will be ministries of education. So your magazine will focus on some of the challenges they face, some of the feature stories on special children and how they are faring. You can organize. You can do interview with specialists. You can do what's it called? Interview with specialists on special needs education. You can organize a podcast on special needs and then get an interview. You can run what's it called in your magazine as well. You can give data that talks about special needs and the future of special needs education and other things like that. So a whole lot of things you can put into what's it called that magazine and make it. So your focus will be to send it to ministries of education, educational research institutes, and other things like that. They get to buy it from you. You can even sell it to schools. Some schools will subscribe to it and buy it. They will buy it as low as 1,000 naira, and then because they also have some students that they don't want to confess. These are some of the things you can do as a person. I think I'll be able to serve everyone now, right?
No.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if there is anyone that is not what's it called, that is seeing what's it called, you get to send me send me a message on WhatsApp. We'll continue from there. Then our assignment is that you create a short-term plan of 3 months. Everybody on this workshop must what's it called? Everybody on this workshop, we are targeting that in the next 3 months. You should start your business. You should start your education business, and then a medium term plan of 6 months. So make sure that you create. I want to see that one between now and that means that you are not sleeping tonight. That means you are not sleeping tonight. I want that one between now and Friday evening. Well typed, you have to type it step-by-step approach. 3 months, how you are going to start your business, what you are going to do, how you are going to start it, the location you are going to use, every of the strategic plan for your business in 3 months and in 6 months. And then you also give us a 1 year forecast. In 1 year, how do you want your business to be? I need those information by Friday evening, well typed and submit to a designated email. I will copy from that email and I will go through it. So that is what we are going to do. That is what we are going to do on that. So that's your assignment for today. all of us, we want to make sure that all of you start a business, and then in 1 year time, you are making it big in your business. And cheers to your development, cheers to your growth, and cheers to your success in your new endeavor as an edupreneur. Okay. On the final note, make sure you listen to this session again. Listen to the audio I've sent. Read the manual.
Yes, I heard that for mostly the people that
read the slides I've sent. So make sure you get a lot of knowledge from this. And then there will still be an interactive section at the end of the workshop on Sunday to also rub minds with us and other things like that. So I think we should, in the absence of any question, we are going to end the session for this afternoon. Any questions before we call it a day yet?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have a question.
Hello.
Please, quickly.
I have a question. Okay. You talk about those who want to go into educational research. How do you tend to obtain ethical approval for those research studies?
Okay. Approvals, right?
Yeah, ethical approval, like for you to go ahead.
Yeah.
More like you go ahead.
That's why you, anything research is not something you go into without getting to know some there are some intricacies in research. You just start with research and then publish online. No, ways you
Did you put
go
this
to
thing
ministries.
now? Did you put this now? No, I'm not eating now. I have many workshops to attend. If you eat, you put your own.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir. Hello, sir.
Well, of course, you will need to also go to a Bureau of Statistics.
Yes.
Are you getting my point? We have National Bureau of Statistics. You get to tell them, you meet with them that you want to go into these things and this like that, and your focus is on education. In fact, they will gladly that the paucity of research in Nigeria. So they will get so these are where is it called? You can go to state ministries, federal ministries of education, state ministries of education, and National Bureau of Statistics. So get to meet with experts there, and then they will put you on a guideline. Of course, you already know the type of research that you want to go into, and then of course it's also required that you take some courses online and probably some other paid courses on research.
Yeah.
So you get research is a whole lot of industry. You get to learn. It requires high level of expertise, and of course, the ethics and professional call under research. So you just don't jump into it. So you have to obey those ethics, and then of course you get to also talk with some legal frameworks as well. But when you go to Bureau of Statistics and Ministries of Education, the research I will give you the contacts of. For the person that is going to this, I will give you the contact of Dr. Mo. Dr. Mo is a leading researcher in education in Nigeria. I'll give you the contact so she can also mentor you in that aspect.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Who else? Somebody is saying something. I wish you end now. Okay. I think I've been able to serve everyone. So if you have any other questions, and you can engage me on my WhatsApp, I think we need to really go now because you guys are still having evening session. So on behalf of everyone, make sure you do all the assignment I've given you. You know, it's a workshop. I must do assignment. I'm a teacher. And I know you are
Please, what's my own assignment? Hello, are you there?
I'm there.
Kate is asking you.
Kate, I said I need everybody to draft out a short-term plan for your business. How you are going to start, your location, and every detail. Because we want everybody to start in 3 months, latest 3 months. In fact, if it's possible, you start next month, start gathering, then latest 3 months or maximum of 6 months. So you give us a short-term plan of 3 months, how you are going to start, what you are going to start with, how you are going to scale it up in 3 months, in 6 months, and a long-term plan of 1 year, how your business will be. So we can follow up, and I can also give professional advices.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So I need it typed and documented by Friday evening, and sent to a mail I will provide to you. So I will go through.
You mean
So
tomorrow?
at the end of the workshop on Sunday, I will engage you on this plan that you have. And then of course you can even discuss the plan with Dr. Alfred that will be coming up in the evening. He's very good with business plan and everything. He will help you, and he's providing a free mentorship for you guys.
Okay. So, I have another question.
Any other question? You can
Yes,
send it to me on my DM, or do you have anybody? Send the question to me on my DM. I don't want us to exceed time because we are still coming back in the evening. The session resumes again 7:30. Dr. Alfred Adejimaki will be here to teach you on how to start and grow your business. How to start and grow your business. So do it to engage with all the materials I've provided for you, the audios, videos, and the likes, and then you can engage me on WhatsApp. And so on this note, I've come to the end of the class.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Quite insightful.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So bye everyone. We'll meet in the evening. Thank you.
Yeah.